Hey, remember the bronze video that I made a couple of months ago? Well, I want you guys to forget about it and stop watching that video because that video has a lot of mistakes, so please watch this instead. Welcome to the new and improved bronze fighter list, and I'm pretty sure that this will be better than the previous one I've made. So I'm too lazy to list everything together, but the honorable mentions are in the description. Note, I would not include Fukua variants here because she is just new to the game, and I have no knowledge for Fukua variants, but if I were to add a Fukua variant in this list, it could be Infernal Twin. Okay, so first off is Cold Stones. God, here we go again. Alright, so Cold Stones is a water Beowulf variant that relies on stun to deal as much damage as possible. Seriously, this guy is literally pissing me off. I mean, look at his smug face when he cheats so hard just because of his stun locks. I mean, look at it. Okay, anyway, so his special ability Out Cold gives a maximum of 20% chance of stunning you for 6 seconds by just grabbing you, head slamming you, or even hops around like a little dog to slam your head on the ground. Not only that, but he deals a maximum of 50% extra damage when you're stunned. Yep, very cancer if you ask me. Seriously, I still hate this variant so much. If I were given a chance to remove the variant, I'd gladly remove him from the roster. Seriously. Anyways, if you're making him as a defender or using him as offense, you always bring a wolf shoot. That is mandatory and actually required. I don't care what people say, just bring a goddamn wolf shoot every single time. When you're finished investing on a skill tree, you always choose defending champ as his marquee ability, so you'll deal even more damage when your health is higher than your opponent. Next one is Prototype Robo Fortune. I actually haven't thought about this, but Prototype is actually broken, but not that broken because of the nerf, but I'll explain later. Prototype is an air Robo Fortune variant that gives meter when you use a blockbuster. Basically, she's a spamming machine. Give her cannons and other blockbusters and you're ready to spam. Basically, her special ability System Shock has a maximum of 25% chance on inflicting Power Surge for 10 seconds. Power Surge is basically a debuff that damages you when you use a blockbuster, and Robo Fortune is probably the only fighter who inflicts that. The second part of her special ability gives her a maximum of 25% blockbuster meter when she uses a blockbuster. Like I said, once you get into the perfect rhythm, you can't stop spamming. I mean, look at that. Does that look broken to you? I mean, this clip was before the nerf, but you can still do this with 4 blockbusters instead of 3. Meter gain did not affect Prototype's meter gain in her special ability anymore, hence the reason why you need 4 blockbusters now. So be careful because when you spam, you are prone to being dash attacked. She also has weaknesses like the others. She's very prone to wither, so be careful in battling against a Squiggly with a Battle Opera or Infernal Leviathan, and stay away from Ivy League Parasol. Her tier detonation will give you an automatic wither. Pair her up with Surgeon General and you'll be fine. Now let's talk about her marquee ability. Since you're just going to laser your opponents to death, it's best to go pink check instead of DDoS. That way, even though you're far away, you'll get an instant Enrage for more damage. Your Catastrophe Cannon Omega already deals a lot, and it's going to hurt more with pink check. Now for the top 3 on your list is Bad Hair Day Philia. Bad Hair Day is a Dark Philia variant that relies on bleed stacks to burn her opponents down. She doesn't have a good attack stat, but her bleeds certainly gets the job done. Her special ability is Razor Shears, which gives her the power to inflict bleed on an enemy for a maximum of 7 seconds with a 10% chance. You will also have a maximum of 15% bonus crit rate when the opponent has active bleeds. Bad Hair Day is an amazing fighter as a bronze variant. Her bleeds alone can melt down a fighter with 5 stacks of armor, which is pretty insane. It's very satisfying to see your enemy's health deplete with all that bleed, you know? But there's one problem here. She has weaknesses against Valentine variants with an ICU marquee, which will convert her bleeds into heavy regen. Same rule applies with Bloodbath Eliza, which converts all bleeds into regen. If you see a Bloodbath Eliza and a marquee Valentine on your prize fight, chances are their marquee ability is ICU, which will prevent you from bleeding her. Her marquee ability is pretty self-explanatory. You apply bleeds, you want them to become permanent to further drain your enemy's health bar. Then go for the first cut, which will give you a chance to make those bleeds you applied permanent. Yes, you heard me, permanent. That way, you don't need to attack over and over again just so you can give your opponent bleed every time. Just wait for them to reach 1% and boom, victory. Next one is another bleeder just like Bad Hair Day, Rusty Penal. Rusty is a light variant that also relies on bleeds and removes opponent's buffs and converting it to bleeds as well. Her special ability Bleed For Me, which gives her a maximum of 10% chance of inflicting bleeds. Not only that, but it also gives a chance to convert the opponent's buffs into bleeds as well. Her bleed potential is very nice against buff reliant fighters like Jin Frizz or Rainbow Blight. The only downside is her health pool being so low, and if I'm not mistaken, she has the least amount of HP among all the Painwheel variants, just behind Freaky Friday. So your marquee ability should be Grudge. Doing so will give you armor and enrage when the opponent critical strikes you. Just pray and hopefully you can get that 5 stacks of armor before you get killed instantly. For me, she's better than Bad Hair Day because of the fact that Rusty can convert buffs into bleeds, and he has a higher base attack stat than Bad Hair Day, which is very beneficial for Rusty. Not only does he deals more damage, but he can also remove buffs and giving them bleed at the same time. Last and most certainly the least, the top 1 bronze fighter variant of all time is Sheltered Parasol. Sheltered is a fire type Parasol variant that deals tons of damage, but unfortunately because of the crit mass nerf in 4.3, I doubt she'll still be dominant all the time. But don't be discouraged by that because she still does high amounts of damage when critting, and because of that, she is the best bronze variant. Her special ability Overly Critical is the reason for those high damage outputs. She gets a maximum of 20% crit rate for all teammates and on critical hit gets Enrage for 7 seconds. She's not the best Parasol variant because of her weak base damage, but the Enrage make her on par with the other Parasol variants out there. You can also invest in attack and crit rate for all those easy damages, and that's why she is the number 1 bronze variant, for me at least. However, even though she's number 1 in this list, she still has some weaknesses. For example, both Painwheel's Tainted Blood Marquee, which reflects a maximum of 100% damage when you hit her with a critical strike, she's also having trouble with the Grudge Marquee, because of the fact that Painwheel gains armor and enrage every time you hit her with crits. So it's best if you don't use Parasol against a fully marked Painwheel, because she's easily countered by her 2 marquee abilities. She is having trouble against armor-reliant fighters as well, as she cannot shred through armor like Bleed. But at least you can burst them down with your enraged attacks if they have regen buffs. But don't be discouraged by her weaknesses, because she can still destroy a strong team because of her enraged damage. Next up is the marquee ability for Sheltered, and it's pretty obvious that it should be Critical Mass. Even though she's nerfed, it's still the better call, because you still have enough crit chance for Sheltered. So you must back her up with damage outputs along with those crit rates, so she could shred all those enemies to bits. Now there goes my updated bronze fighter lists. Honorable mentions are in the description, so feel free to read them if you want to. I hope this list was better to understand other than the previous list I made before. I had a lot of help from people in the Discord community helping me decide on which fighters I should list down, so I would like to thank them for the help. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.